we're back once again. It's that time of the week, Wednesday night. And you are, in fact, listening to Beyond Sight and Sound. We are here. We've got a little bit of an echo in the broadcaster for some reason, but we'll roll with it. Checking the chat real quick. We see Ohio Relic Hunter, Beer Barrel, First Capital Dig, MD Smiley, let's see here. Just all sorts of names. Trooper Bry, shout out to the Stealth Digger Bry. Cool Beans in the house. So we've got quite a few people climbing in here. Looks like the chat's starting to hop. I will try to do what I can to keep track of the chat, but tonight we have had some technical issues on a few different fronts. I am your host, Josh Kimmel, and tonight I am all you have for the host. Co-host Kenny Moore is off the grid. Storm knocked his internet out again. So the Dirt Bandit will most likely not be with us, unless, of course, that situation gets rectified. Utah Nichols in the chat from Family Campfire on YouTube. Be sure and check his show out tomorrow night. Few quick announcements. First off, First Capital Dig, he did a video last week, I believe it was. Shout out to the CWPPO as well as the GoFundMe fundraiser for the Dirt Digler Family Fund. Very nicely put together. For those maybe looking for a different detector dealer to use, drop in and check out Ironclad Detectors. Haven't mentioned them in a while. It's good to give them a shout out every now and then, so check them out. And some great people over there. And for metal detecting forums, if that's your thing on the internet, Treasure Illustrated. They've been doing some changes over there. Definitely doing some great things, some good things at work there. Swansea Searcher in the house, too. Shout out to Swansea. As far as that goes, we should probably get on into the show. And if you've seen the promo, I don't see how you could have missed it. We've had it out there with plenty of advance warning. As always, Wednesday mornings, it gets plastered all over Facebook. Tonight, we've actually got the gang, or most of the gang, from Dirt Fishing America. We've actually got with us tonight TJ and Brandon from the Dirt Fishing America. You've seen their videos, I'm sure. Maybe follow their Facebook page, different things like that. Just a great bunch of guys. Really great work with the videos. And really, in terms of finds, some absolutely phenomenal finds. Great guys out there enjoying the hobby, and we've actually been able to get them to take the time and sit down on Beyond Sight and Sound tonight and chat with all of us. So you guys, obviously, for those who are return listeners, we appreciate everyone for dropping in. You already know the call-in number. For those who this may be their first time dropping in, thanks for joining us tonight. If you've got a question or comment during the show, we miss it in the live chat, there's always the call-in, 419-549-5744. With that in mind, let's get on to it. How is it going, guys?
Awesome. How are you?
Good, Josh, man.
Oh, well, definitely looking forward to this show. We've had a few technical issues, but, you know, we're getting through it just fine. Michael J. Boyles and Ringfinder has dropped into the chat as well.
Welcome.
So I guess maybe we should start out and let the listeners know, either you, Brandon, or TJ, whoever wants to go first, what got you into the hobby? How long have you been into the hobby?
I'm going to turn this one to TJ.
So I got in the hobby late in 2011. We were just at the and Brandon was talking about some of his finds, and Eric brought in some gold a few months prior. It's kind of got me curious about gold detecting, and I've always kind of been a history enthusiast in a way. Really liked history and World War II especially. So I got to talking with Brandon, and he said that I had to get a metal detector. And I asked him, well, how much is a metal detector? You know, what can it do? And things like that. And he started explaining it, and he said, no, you can get one, you know, $400 or so. And I said, okay, that's awesome. You know, that's doable. And got to talking more, and I asked him what kind of machine he had, and he told me, he goes, well, it's one of the more expensive ones. And I said, okay, well, how's that going to affect me? You know, am I going to go try and look for things and you're going to fall behind and pick up all the stuff I couldn't find? He goes, well, kind of. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that then. So I just ponied up and bought the better detector. One of that he was recommending, which was the 3030. And, I love it. It's awesome. It's a great machine.
All in, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just, you know, so he friends with, you know, I don't want to say cheaper necessarily, but just less expensive machines over the years, and so does Eric. I don't really have that experience with you know, less expensive machines, so I really don't have that background knowledge of older machines, or you know how things kind of technology change and things like that, because I just jumped in with a really good machine.
Yeah, absolutely you did. It sounds like you just dove right in from nothing to a CTX 3030. You're definitely right there at the front line.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, there's a lot of different brands, a lot of different models out there, but the CTX 3030 is viewed by many as one of the top machines, and I love mine.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, we're competitive, you know, and we're fun by nature, but you know, I certainly don't be smoked all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
and this way, you know, if I get smoked, he can always say, well, you know, we had the same machine, so.
Yeah, exactly. You can't blame the machine.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So you've been in about 4 years then.
Yeah. Has it been that long?
Has been, yeah.
Holy crap. Time flies.
But really made some nice finds, and it obviously from your videos and the posts, you guys are having an absolute blast.
It's so much.
It's what it's all about, right? I mean, if we weren't having fun, we wouldn't be doing it. And the day that it stops becoming fun, we will stop doing it.
It's just when we're doing the videos and stuff, it's just us being ourselves. So I think it might be a turnoff for some, but for us, it's just normal, you know, to make fun of each other and, you know, just crack jokes, maybe a little off color at times, but it's, I don't know, we're just being ourselves, having fun, putting a video out there that, you know, you're not going to please anybody anyways. I mean, not everyone anyways. So just have fun with it, be ourselves, and the people that like it, they do, and the people that don't, well, they're going to watch something else anyway. So
exactly, good point. And from watching your guys' videos, I mean, it really is, in a sense, a lot like watching the Stealth Digger videos, because they're not out there to necessarily cater to anyone particular or please anybody. They're out there just being themselves, having a good time.
Yeah.
Recovering
I love those
and that's
Stealth
what it's about.
I'm a huge fan of the Stealth Digger videos just for that fact. I mean, it's a group of guys. They obviously have a camaraderie going on. And, they're just out there having fun, digging some history, and if they don't, well, at least they're having fun hanging out with each other and smoking some cigars and drinking some beers in the woods or whatever else they're doing off camera. I don't know, but it sure is fun to watch either way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even if there's not many finds being made, they're still having a great time.
And that is exactly what it's all about. The finds are the cherry on top, you know. It's all about the adventure for us and seeing new places and hanging out and just, you know, getting away from it for a weekend or so.
Right. Now, how about you, Brendan? When did you get into the hobby?
I purchased my first metal detector in 2003. It was a Garrett Scorpion Gold Stinger.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I know. I actually got into detecting because I was a prospector before I was a detectorist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I grew up in Placer County, California, and in about the 3rd or 4th grade, I went on a field trip with my class to Sutter's Mill, California, the place that started it all for the 49er.
The place that started the gold rush.
And I came back home from school that day, and I was like, Dad, did you know there's gold right here in our backyard? And he's like, yeah, I did. And I'm sorry that I haven't mentioned that before. It turns out that my dad and his brothers and my grandfather actually owned an 8-inch dredge, and they dredged multiple rivers in California, and they were pretty successful prospectors. And once I started showing an interest in prospecting, old Dad bought me a pan and kind of just brought it along every weekend that we went out. He had a Jeep, and we'd go out into the Sierra Nevada, and we'd go on hunting trips or just camping in general. And we'd bring that pan everywhere, and he'd kind of show me places to look everywhere we went. And sometimes we found gold, sometimes we didn't. And we just kind of got into prospecting like that. And I purchased like a sluice and a high banker and did some prospecting in California with that. And pretty soon old Pops moved up to Idaho to start an outfitting business. And I followed him a few years later. And once I moved out of California, it was a little bit more difficult to find gold. Idaho had a really good gold rush of its own, and there's plenty of gold up here, but it's just a little bit different, It took me out of my element. One day I ran into a buddy. He's like, hey, have you heard of electronic prospecting before? I was like, no. He's like, these guys with metal detectors are killing it on gold nuggets. You have to check this out. And he showed me some pictures of his buddy who had found, more gold in one weekend that I'd found in my whole life with a detector. So I was like, I want a detector.
Right, you're going, I want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I bought a detector, and I didn't find any gold with it for at least like a year. And the first gold nugget that I ever found with a metal detector was in Idaho. It was in the Boise Basin. It was about the size of a pencil eraser. And I don't mean the pencil erasers that you actually attach to the end of your pencil. I mean the one that is attached to the end of your pencil.
Wow.
And I was hooked, though. That was the biggest nugget that I had ever found in all my prospecting years, because, most gold out there is flour gold.
Right, for some of us, it doesn't take much to get us bid.
Right, so a few years later, I ended up, actually, I sold my 5-inch dredge, and with the money, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to stay closer to home. I'm not going to be up in the hills all the time with the dredge and the sluice and the high banker, etc. And I purchased the MineLab CTX 3030 because I wanted to find coins and stuff and stay closer to home. And that just opened up like this huge new vault of things that I had been missing right here next to my house, Right. And granted, they're not as historic and as significant as a lot of finds across the nation or across the
absolutely.
world, for that matter. But I mean, they're cool to me.
Exactly, and that is the important part, because you're still out there having a good time and all of that. Although I got to admit, isn't that kind of ironic that, or maybe not ironic, but a strange twist of, hey, I'm going to do it this way so I can stay closer to home. And then next thing we know, bam, out of nowhere, Dirt Fishin America, the movie, and now we're running off to England.
Yeah, the whole home thing lasted for about I don't know,
6 days.
Months. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, I mean, I had that silver bug bit me, and I was like, oh man, awesome. I got a Rosie. Oh, even better, I got a Merc. Oh, now I got a Barber. Where do I have to go to get a seated? Seated are really hard to find around here. So that requires a little bit of driving. And then, oh, what next? I don't know. How about some large scents, some capped busts?
Right.
Busts? You get into that, chasing that dragon.
Yeah, they're a little hard to find in some of our spots. I know they're not real common here in Ohio either. Also, for the listeners, we have been joined and broke the Wednesday night curse. The Dirt Bandit has arrived.
Welcome, Dirt Bandit.
Yes, man. I tell you, it's. We had a storm roll through, and sure enough, it took out the internet and all that. And I just started laughing at that point. I don't even get mad anymore. I just started laughing, and but it seems like it's every Wednesday night. And this time, next Wednesday night, I'll be doing the show from one of the mountains there in Tennessee as I'm digging ginseng. So that'll be interesting.
Absolutely. And Dirt Bandit here, Kenny, he likes to run his AT Gold and an XP Deus, which you guys have had some experience with the Deus, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Great machine, super lightweight. The ability to pick what frequency that you want to operate on is absolutely priceless. And the recovery speed, my God. I mean, that's all I can say about that.
Oh, yeah.
I think Eric swung it for the first time in the UK and loved it. He had just had carpal tunnel surgery, and so it was lighter than this.
Oh, yeah, much easier for him then.
Yeah, and he's pretty wimpy anyways, but he's not here to defend himself. So.
Well, that machine for me is I can, as you guys, you can set it to adjust it to go, for what you're hunting, where you're hunting,
right?
All the different programs. You hear that all the time, and I see a lot of this. Hey, I've got a program I want to send you and stuff like that. Well, and that's cool. I mean, that's cool that you do that, but you know what? Your way of hunting is going to be different than that program. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to figure out what program works for you, because
absolutely, you have to find what works for you.
Yeah, the relics and the stuff that I hunt, it depends where you're hunting. That Deus Fast is awesome. If you're in a place and you're lucky enough to come up with a place that's not been hunted very much, that Deus Fast will just pop, and pop them out of there. But if I switch it up and I go deeper when I get like hunting in Shiloh, different places in Alabama, where I'm finding ringtails at 14 inches with that 11-inch coil. It's hard to believe.
And it looks like we're joined by a caller out of Illinois. Who do we have?
Hey, you got Stryker out of Illinois. How you doing, Josh?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. Chugging along.
All right.
Interesting show tonight. Sounds good. How are your guests doing? Are they, you guys being treated okay by Josh? Sometimes he can go a little crazy on you.
No complaints so far.
So far, so good. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty easygoing, so hard to offend.
I got a question for you guys, if you don't mind. I'm just curious. I've been detecting for a while also, and I'm just curious. If you could detect anywhere, where would you like to go detecting, and what would you like to find first when you got there?
Oh, good question, because you guys have traveled a lot.
Right. Hopefully traveling more in the future.
There you go.
Gosh, that's, like, for myself personally, No.
Oh, you told him about that.
I didn't tell anyone.
Oh.
That was between us. I owe you. No, I know. No,
cut that out.
Yeah, this isn't live, is it? For myself personally, I have categorized my hunting by what I want to find into like coins, gold, meteorites, and then it even breaks down into these subcategories. But long story short, my number one place right now, if I could go anywhere, going to be Golden Triangle, Australia somewhere.
Nice.
That's fun.
I got to scratch off a big nugget. I cannot for the life of me get a nugget over 2 grams. I've never even found a specimen. No gold with quartz attached. So I'm kind of, I've hit a few big landmarks with the coins and stuff recently, and I'm kind of looking at some other stuff that I want to scratch off the old bucket list, and a big nugget is one of them. So for me personally, Dr. Tones wants to go to Australia.
Okay, awesome.
TJ,
yeah. Well, I still want to go back to the UK. It's so rich in history there. The history that we all learned about in grade school and junior high school. It just goes back so far, and the artifacts that you can find are just second to none. And there's so many things that I haven't found over there either. Brandon, it'll be unveiled here in the next video that we do, but he found some special things while he was over there that I haven't found. We found hammers and things like that. Just absolutely awesome, fun finds. But gold, any Saxon artifacts are great. I found Saxon caterpillar brooch and an alligator brooch, which when you're digging them out, you're not quite sure what you're pulling out of the ground because you're unfamiliar with the artifacts, and you have to take it back to the guides. That's really cool because you put it in your pouch and you still don't know what you have. You still continue to detect, and then you walk back and give it to somebody who's probably seen something like that before, which they have.
And then when you bring it to them, they're like, "You had that in that dirty, nasty pouch this whole time."
Yep. Yeah, that sounds like the Bunny Ranch. Whatever you find, you got to bring it here first. Yeah.
There you go.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. And Josh, as usual, great show, and thanks for taking my call.
Hey, not a problem.
And talking to us.
We try to do what we can. We've had this planned for a while. It was just a scheduling issue, but we've got them now. So
yeah, you've done it a few times, so you're getting the hang of it. You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I've been through it once or twice.
It's not his first rodeo.
Yeah, that's right. All right, brothers. You have a great night. Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
And it looks like maybe the storm has knocked Kenny back out, but we'll keep rolling and see what happens. So you guys, obviously, the way it sounds, definitely got into the hobby independently of one another. How did Dirt Fishing America meet up? And, you guys got together because you guys have a great chemistry together. Definitely some camaraderie there. And you guys just kind of met one another and started doing this whole Dirt Fishing America thing. How did this all come about?
That's a great question. Basically, shortly after I started doing the coin and relic hunting, I actually got a GoPro camera from my mom for Christmas.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. And I thought, wow, what am I going to do with this? And then it kind of just hit me all of a sudden, like, hey, I'm going to take it out metal detecting with me. And the very first time that I took my GoPro out with me, and you can still see this video on our page at youtube.com/DrTones24K. It was, I found 2 barber halves in the same hole. And I also found like an Indian that day, and I'd never found a barber, let alone a barber half. Let alone 2 of them in one hole. And so I was like, man, this GoPro thing is coming every week from now on. And
right.
I just started kind of making videos with it, and I knew Eric. Eric was a volunteer at the fire station that I work at, and TJ is a captain at the fire station that I work at. And during training nights or downtime on shift work, we'd kind of just talk about, detecting or prospecting or whatever, and kind of just started setting weekend dates up to go out and do some detecting. And the GoPro came along, and I actually, before I got into the fire service, during my high school days mostly, actually, I am a musician kind of at heart, and a lot of the software programs that I'm using to record music are like identical to the one that we use.
Right, carried them over for video editing.
Exactly. So it was a really easy transition for me to have a format to start with, and just kind of started making videos of us going out, and that's kind of how Dirt Fishin America started.
It was kind of
Awesome.
creepy at first, to be honest. He's just calling her on the camera, you're like, man, leave me alone.
Yeah,
Go away.
and TJ absolutely refused to take his shirt off, which I ended up having to pay him.
Yeah, well, see, you just had to tell him, don't worry, it's only weird the first time.
Yeah, just don't make eye contact.
Now look at it.
513, you're on the air. Who do we have? 513. Okay, maybe they'll call back. And then once you started doing the videos, I'm sure somewhere along that time these names came along of Dr. Tones, PickHead, Digler. How'd you come up with that?
One at a time, or was it all as a round table with maybe some suds?
Yeah, we're all slurring and slapping each other. You know?
I actually...
Oh, it looks like they're back. 513, who do we have?
Right.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, 513?
I'm good, how are you?
Not
Yeah,
you.
I'm good. How's it going, 513?
All is good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm calling in for the first time, so you'll have to tell me what I need to do.
Basically, if you've got any questions or comments, just put them out there. We'll try to get them answered.
Thank you. I'm just going to listen.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that works too.
Hey, we'll take a listener wherever we can get them, right?
Yeah, exactly. We know we're guaranteed. We've got at least one.
Yeah.
No crickets here. Of course, obviously for the chat, we know we've got more than that because the chat is hopping. But, yeah, you were saying you guys came up with your names how?
So, basically, when I started joining forums and trying to learn my machine and learn about, prospecting and coin and relic hunting, the forums, by the way, guys, are a huge wealth of information. If you're not on them, I encourage you to follow Josh's lead and hop on whoever your sponsored forum is on this particular show. All of them are great. Some are better than others, but they're usually very friendly, and you can learn so much. They've got it narrowed down to subcategories for each individual metal detector, and you can hop on there and you can find everything there is to know about a CTX, an AT Pro, a Gold Bug, you name it, any metal detector out there. So hop on the forums, learn your machine. That's where I did. And when you sign up to go onto a forum, you basically have to come up with a username. And my username that I chose was Dr. Tones. And for me, it was a play on words between Dr. Jones, who is my hero in life, Indiana Jones.
I was going to say little Indiana Jones.
Little Indiana Jones, right? Exactly. And
always
then fun on work with the tones, being a metal detector and all. So that's kind of how I just kind of spun myself. And when I first started the YouTube thing, someone messaged me in a chat room and said, "Hey, you should keep your pen name or whatever you want to call it, Dr. Tones, so that way people don't start following you around and putting devices on your car and all sorts of weird stuff that happens out there when you start finding semi-decent things."
Right.
And, it didn't really matter to me that much. I mean, people are going to find out who I am anyway, so... if they want to follow me...
Yeah, I think at this point you can probably pretty much throw anonymity right out the window.
Yeah, so, I mean, it just kind of stuck as a fun nickname, and old PickHead here probably has a little bit different story how he got his.
Yeah, so Brandon says, hey, Brandon and Eric are talking, they want to include me in this Dirt Fishin America group, and you gotta pick a nickname. I was like, TJ is a nickname, actually. It's not my real name. Technically, that is a nickname. But
so he's got layers of firewall.
Exactly. Yeah, he started off in the spot that I needed to.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even really here. Yeah. So they're like, yeah, you need to pick a nickname. I'm like, wait, what? Pick a nickname. Like we're in like a little club or something. So I didn't quite understand the purpose of it at the time, but so I just came up with PickHead, and basically it's kind of a play on words, because it rhymes with an attitude, which I don't have. But
right.
It's just, but it's a tool that we use in the fire service. It's a style of axe. So that's what I kind of went with. I thought it was kind of a funny play on words a little bit, and then also it was a tool that we use. So that's kind of where
that is interesting, because I guess, and that's being presumptuous, but I always just kind of figure, well, you guys are out hunting, you're gold prospecting, you use picks in gold prospecting.
Yeah.
No, he still is much more proficient with a PickHead axe than he is with an actual pickaxe.
731, you're on the air. Who do we have?
Hey, it's Rusty Halo. This is Megan.
Hey, hello, Megan.
Hey,
Long
Megan.
time no
How
hear.
are y'all doing?
All right.
Good.
Very well.
Yeah, well, I know, Mr. Josh, you know who I am.
Yes, I
praise
do.
the Lord, somebody knows who I am. But I know the other three, they probably don't know, but you're talking about nicknames, and I just wanted to say that every time since I've been watching, I've said that Dirt Digler is the best freaking name ever. It is epic. I don't care how you got it. I hope it's on your tombstone. Like, for real, I was like, my God, that man is a genius. It's great. Perfect.
You know what? I will jump in here. I actually came up with that name, and we were at the firehouse. We were on duty. It was a late night, and we were talking about. It was just Eric and I. We were watching. We're watching something. I can't remember what we were watching. Anyway, he's like, "Well, what's my nickname?" He's like, no. He's like, what do you think my nickname should be? And I just kind of blurted out, Dirt Digler, and we laughed. We were just rolling on the ground, and he's like, no, seriously though, what do you think my name should be? And I said, no, seriously though, you will only be known as Dirt Digler from here on. I promise you. And he's like, no, but seriously. He is, I don't know, TJ, should I explain a little bit about his background and how it might relate to his family not wanting that nickname? Or should I just leave that out of the equation?
Just leave that out.
I'm going to leave that out of the equation. Anyway.
Man.
In all seriousness, he was highly opposed to it at first. And I, actually, the friend that I am...
His family's conservative.
Yes, they're very conservative. Thank you. That's a good way of putting it. being the good friend that I am, I just kept using it in the credits without his permission.
Without his permission. Yeah, that is a true good friend. That's what a true good friend would do.
And now he's stuck with it.
Well, when this
Right.
thing first, since Brandon's such a good friend, when this thing first started, if he could get a butt crack in one of the videos or something, he would do that. If somebody was bending over.
Yes. Any
Humiliation.
any sort of humiliating moment that I could take advantage of to make myself look better, I would absolutely take. It definitely comes out on the editing room floor.
Well, let me say this. I don't think that there's anything that you can do to him that's going to make him look bad because, you're good friends and y'all pick and play, and that's great, but first of all, that name, there's none that's ever going to top it. I do like PickHead, and I do like Dr. Tones, and they're both wonderful, but Dirt Digler.
The Dirt Digler.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I hope you like it too now.
He does.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. He loves it now.
He embraces it 100%. And funny story, too, is about 3 weeks after that, and you can actually go back to our YouTube channel and kind of look at it. Mike Scott from Fisher Metal Detectors, he was on the show. Josh, help me out here.
Dig Wars.
Thank you.
He named his machine Digler.
He did. Yeah, he did. And we were watching that, Eric and I, at the same time, the first day that aired, and he said that. And I'm like, oh, there's no way. That's a coincidence. But it was. It was a total freak coincidence. So, Mike
Going,
Scott,
wow,
if
that's
you're out
just
there
too
listening
weird.
somewhere, he has an exceptionally mind, and you can't discredit him.
Right. Well, you guys make great videos, and I have been looking over into the where y'all just got back from England to the metal detecting tours. I'm terrified of flying. Like my stomach, I get nauseous just thinking about flying.
Well, TJ will hold your hand.
Do what?
TJ will hold your hand the whole way. He did for me.
Well, I've never. No, I haven't been very many places in my life. I've been very blessed. I've met Mr. Kurt from the Hoover Boys, and I met 3 of the Hoover Boys, and I met Chris in Virginia, and I've had a wonderful time. But flying is a whole different deal, but I really honestly have been looking into that because that's an experience. It's a once in a lifetime deal. I bet it was wonderful, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. And there are a lot of people out there with that same fright and that same phobia of flying, and there's a lot of pets out there as well. So if you can get to a doctor or a vet and just get some medication to get you from point A to point B, I guarantee you'll have the time of your life.
I would say a doctor.
Yeah, I would say a doctor, but if the doctor fails, try a vet.
Right.
Well,
You got to do what you got to do.
I only know one doctor that'll give me the right thing. I'll probably need a Xanax biscuit, and the only one that I know that'll give me that is Dr. Tones. So help me out.
Nice. That's kind of nice.
All right, we'll check the mail next week. You should get your biscuit.
Yeah, Xanax doctor, I would. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for letting me call in. I am listening, and I am watching, and I'm trying to learn, and I'm always trying to catch up. And I'm Rusty Halo on YouTube. I'm very new to this, and I take my 3 kids out, and I'm trying to teach them too, so they're watching y'all as well. And my son loves your name too. All of y'all.
Ah, Rusty Halo, we are going to subscribe to you like ASAP, and we want to follow your videos as well. And we hope that you will continue to work on that flying situation, because I guarantee you will not regret it once you get there.
Yeah, I think Australia would probably be. I've always wanted to go to Australia, like you said, but I don't know. Going over there.
It's a long haul.
Old
Yes,
world
it is.
England. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Scotland.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I promise.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys, for introducing me to that. And
Not
y'all
a
be
problem.
blessed, be safe, and happy hunting, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Josh.
Thanks for the call.
I got 2 words for you, Mr. Josh.
Yes, sir.
And it's been blowing up here on the chat, we're going to have to bring up the blood sausage. So, bring up the blood sausage. So let's hear what's up with the blood sausage.
So the blood sausage was just, I don't know, I just came up with it for whatever reason. We like to challenge each other and just poke some fun and, you know, loser sucks kind of a thing. So the blood sausage actually originated from my family's Portuguese, and my dad used to eat blood sausage when I was a kid, and I was like, that is the nastiest looking thing I've ever seen in my life, and he just loved it. But so anyways, we were over there in Europe, and I knew we could get it over there, so that was kind of why I threw that out there. And should I say what happened?
Yeah.
Well,
so
Mr. Michael Boyles brought this up in the chat, so I'm sure he would like to hear the story.
Yeah. So Eric did eat blood pudding, which is
it's a looser form of blood sausage, if you could imagine.
Right.
A looser form. That's never good.
So he held out until the last night. So we left Brandon. Or Brandon left us, actually, because Eric and I headed up to Scotland after the tour, and it was our last night in the UK. Eric and I had driven back to London, and it was our last meal, actually, and that's when he was held out to the very end. But he took it, man. He ate it.
He did.
Yeah. And then I had to try it. But
and I would like to mention there is another name in the chat that you gentlemen are familiar with. Mr. Todd Hiltz has dropped into the chat.
Mr. Hiltz, what's happening, man?
And we're also joined by a fellow stealth digger, Trooper Bry.
Mr. Bry. Mr. Trooper Bry.
How's it going, Bry?
Going good. How are you tonight, gentlemen?
Good.
All right.
Can't complain. I could, but no one would listen.
Do you have any questions, Bry?
Not really. Maybe later on.
Okay.
Just in a second here. I just wanted to say hi to these two guys, because obviously in the show I was on a few weeks ago with you, Josh, I mentioned that when I was getting into detecting back, 15, 16 months ago.
That's right.
Dr. Tone's videos were some of the ones I was cramming on, just because I love the way, the camaraderie that was in the videos and friendship and kind of what detecting was about.
Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, well, you definitely got in with a good group that we still want to get together with. Over here, I mean, whether it's on our turf or yours, you guys are always welcome out here. You know that. But, yeah, I mean, the camaraderie, like you said, that's what it's all about. And, man, you guys got a good thing going out there. You got in with a good group of guys, and hopefully one day soon we can all get together and, just, go find something awesome.
One thing's for sure, it'll be a good time.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Anytime you guys want to go up there, I'm sure they'd be glad to have you. That would be a heck of a hunt. We've had a couple of star hunts there back in June with a big one, and just a couple weeks ago with Howard Hewitt and Silver Slingers, and obviously Wise and that whole crew. You
have no idea how hard that is to watch and to see unfold on Facebook from 1,000 miles away. And just to think, man, the times that those people are having right now without us.
And we're missing it.
And we're missing it. You feel left out. You feel broke as a joke and without a plane ticket, We
were born on the wrong side of the country.
Yes, we were. We often refer to ourselves, I don't know if you've heard us refer to ourselves as this before, but we often refer to ourselves as the Jamaican bobsledding team of metal detecting.
Nice.
It's like the worst place in the world to ever. Well, maybe not the worst, but one of them. It's just it's so new over here where we're at. It's struggled to hit anything. I mean, man. if you hit 1800s here in Idaho, you're doing something right.
Right. And you guys have definitely made the best of the area you're in, I would say.
You know, we, for lack of better terms, we bitch and moan a little bit about our geographical happenstance, but when it comes down to it, we're actually in a really, really cool spot for key coins.
Silver.
For key date silver coins. We're in the middle of...
Have you found one of those?
I've never found one. Okay. We're in the middle of San Francisco, Philadelphia,
Carson.
Denver, and Carson for a brief period there. And it's just we're in like this trifecta area where they kind of just settled. And for, you know, I have a better chance of hitting a key date coin here that was made after 1900 than I do of hitting a seeded coin by a long shot.
Yeah, we don't have copious amounts of coins here, but we do have, you know, some key dates that have been found, which is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Some of those have been excellent finds.
Yeah, I mean, they're few and far in general, but for some reason, when we go out and we're looking for my kind of thing when we're coin hunting here is like I want to find the oldest coin possible wherever I'm at.
Right? Yeah,
and you know, for us here, that's seeded coins. Anything beyond that 1891, 1892 benchmark is just really difficult. Once you start trying to locate the other coins,
and I think some people just find seeded when it came out to visit us. Seem to have a hard time finding them.
Yeah, Frank and Drew came out to visit us, and it was like they, you know, right back in the Philadelphia area. It's like, man, I don't. It's hard to tell someone that's used to finding old coins when they come back here and break the 1800s or whatever out west. And it's like it's hard to explain to them the significance of it because I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't go backwards.
Well, he found it. Drew found his first eagle button when it came out, and he was excited about that because that's something that we have out here. We find quite regularly. It seems like, but
yeah, if you're on an old spot out here, you start finding militaria, you know, from the Indian Wars and wagon train brigades, and you know that starts popping up and. It almost seems easier to find Civil War era uniform relics than it is down south. I hesitate to say it. But
might be just because of the ground.
Not just because, you know, it hasn't been pounded or the ground conditions are different. I don't know what it is.
Is Todd still on the line?
Oh, Todd wasn't on the line. He's in the chat.
Oh, I gotcha. I was going to ask him about that button that he found. That U.S. Naval button.
Yeah,
he probably threw it away.
You know, I was saying before down here where I'm at in Mississippi and Tennessee area, you know, when we find a lot of buttons here, certain places in the soil down here, I would.
Uh-oh. That damn storm.
Yeah, apparently we lost him again.
I felt like we were just going to be delivered a gem, too.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Man.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
Hey, you know what? Oh, is he back? He's laughing. He's laughing. He can hear us.
No, Trooper Bryce still on.
Okay.
I'm still here.
He's
Bryce,
like, I'm just hanging out with you guys. I'm trying to figure out if everyone's at the bar or what, because you guys are having a blast.
I have a question for Bryce, actually. Bryce, what's the best coin you found out there?
It would probably be one of the King George coppers I found.
You found a Georgius?
King Georgius II. Either the counterfeit one I had or one of the actual nice ones I have. It's strange. I've gotten three King Georges. I just got another one this past Saturday. I can't tell if it's a state copper or it's a King
King George. There's a slight left-facing bust. That would probably be my best coin if I were to give you an answer.
That is a good coin, my friend.
That would be hard to choose from, because even the counterfeit one would be an awesome find.
And that was going to be my next question. I was going to say, I went over there with a King George on my bucket list, and unfortunately I was unable to procure a King George when I was over there in New England area. However, I did get one when I was in England, but it doesn't count over there. They throw those away over there.
Yeah,
like
they're going. Oh, it's just
they're called greenies, and they chuck them in the bushes at the end of the day. It's retarded. I save them all. Anyway, if you had the choice to pick between a counterfeit or a real King George, what would be your preference?
Oh boy,
that's a tough one.
That is a tough one, right?
Well, I know they use different methods for casting those things, and I suppose if you could find a really pristine version magically, one under a couple of stones or something that was a super clean counterfeit version, that might be worth more than just a regular King George, just because of obviously how it was created.
Right. I have thought about that very question a ton. If you've seen some of the videos from our New England trip, I found a 1693 William and Mary on that trip in Philadelphia. And when I took it down to Todd and Dave, I think it was like the next day or a day later, and they were taking a look at it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, dude, like 90% certain that's counterfeit." And this was before I had a chance to measure it and weigh it, and really look it over and send some pictures out to some other people that are experts in those matters, and it came back as a very, very rare version of that Irish William and Mary, where they started shipping them over to the colonies, specifically cutting the weight because they could ship more during those years. If they made a different alloy of their original coin, they could ship more because it was lighter. Now, whether or not it was a counterfeit or one of those versions, we have no idea. No one has any idea, and I don't think anyone ever will. But it's fun to think about that kind of thing when you dig something, and then you have to question, like, would I like it more if it was original, or would I like it more if it was counterfeit? Who knows?
Right. That's definitely a good point. And I have heard from Kenny, apparently the storm has knocked him off the grid again, without power, no phone, no internet. But that's the unfortunate thing, the way it goes sometimes.
That's right.
Well, with you guys, aside from, like, say, the gold prospecting and stuff like that, has there been any, like, particular find that really jumps out to you as just a very, very memorable find, regardless of value or anything? What gets it for you? Is it because of the history behind it, maybe the location you found it in, or that it has just a special meaning?
One of the things I found when we were in the Northeast was a 2-cent piece, and the reason it was so unique to me and memorable is I didn't even know what it was. Eric and I couldn't figure out what it was. It was packed with dirt. We were kind of lightly rubbing it off and stuff. We were having just the best time trying to figure out what the heck it was, and after we got it all cleaned up, we figured it out. But that was a memorable coin that I found when I was up there. As far as an artifact, my first Saxon brooch I dug was my most memorable, and
oh wow!
It's a top side of an alligator's head, and it was basically the bottom of a brooch. So it was a piece of a brooch, and that was my most memorable arc that I've ever dug. And I think what makes it memorable is, you know, I don't have the background knowledge that Brandon and Eric both have. So when I dig something, you know, it's pretty new to me, most likely, and it just makes it more special for me. You know, I like figuring things out after I find them, you know, what they are.
Absolutely. It definitely gets exciting, and sometimes it's the research after the fact that that can be a real adventure too.
And I think any Roman artifact or Roman coin is, although most aren't very valuable, the coins themselves, it's such a thrill to dig something so old. It really is.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it would be.
And the thrill for us too is just getting those older coins here from our area. That's fun. Just because, you know, for our area that's old. They're old coins. And then when we went out with Todd and Dave and Drew and Frank and up in the Northeast, and we just the coins that we found up there were just remarkable because we can't find those here. So
we can't forget about Todd and Gary.
Yep.
Yeah, or even just Connecticut Todd Yertz.
Yeah, CT Todd.
Yeah. Todd took care of us.
Todd Yertz and GK Man, Gary. They took really good care.
Yeah, Todd awesome.
Stand up dudes. Everyone that we met was stand up and God.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I don't think I've ever met anybody in this field. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'd rather not meet that guy again or go with that guy again anywhere. Everybody's been so friendly. I mean, really, I mean, people are in this hobby are awesome. Really, I haven't found anybody else that's like, what a tool, man.
No, maybe behind our backs.
Right.
No, everyone that we've met is totally 100% the way, you know, what you see is what you get, face value, you know.
Right.
Totally awesome.
And sometimes it's just a blast being able to pull those various coins out of these places that people tell you, oh, you're not going to find anything there. It's hunted out.
Yeah.
Well, we've said the same thing about places that we've frequented before. Like, well, we've been here several times, I can find anything. Bang, bing, bing. You find coins. Like, man, how did we miss those?
Nobody ever gets it all.
And obviously, Brandon also went over that spot, but that's why.
hey, I resemble that.
That's right.
There was one day where CT Todd, like one of the last days when we were in New England, Eric, me, and TJ could not get our coil over one of those soda can sounding large scents. And then here comes Todd. He comes walking up this hill. He pointed us in this particular direction because he had found something there before, and he said, "You guys,
there were items there.
You guys go up there." He basically said, without saying so much, he's like, "I'm gonna put you in the spot. Yes, this is the honey hole. I found something and left it for you. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Go find it." And we spent a damn hour up there and could not get our coil. And he comes walking up there, and like within 5 minutes, he popped 2 reals and 4 large cents within 10 by 10 foot square circle. And square circle, that's a term I use.
Wow.
But if you know Todd, he wasn't making fun of us in the least bit.
No, absolutely not. No, not at all. No.
Yeah, I do recall hearing that story from him and how he sat down after the fact.
Story he tells for the rest of his life.
I remember him sitting down going, "Gee, I think you guys just got smoked by CT Todd."
Wow, that sounds pretty familiar.
And that wasn't the first time. He out-hunted us every trip that we went on with him. Obviously,
he's good.
He knows where he's at, and he's got home turf advantage. But yeah, man, and we're looking at each other as like, man, large scents. You definitely hear them.
It's hard to miss them.
It's hard to miss them. You just gotta put the coil over.
No, that one's too loud. I'm not digging that one.
No, we seriously do that here. That one's too loud. I'm not digging. It's not a large scent. That is a Budweiser can.
Yeah, my favorite artifact to dig out here is shotgun shells.
Yeah,
I'm really good at that.
Shotgun shell. Can
There you
flaw.
go. But at least you guys are having fun with it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think, what was that? Just maybe 2 months ago or so, you had a note to self about the top of the Jeep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. So the weather out this way, especially when you get into the mountain and or desert climate, I happen to be in both. It was a high desert climate. Eric and I went out doing some nugget hunting and some actually that trip we were focusing more on ghost towns and relic hunting. I don't even think we actually looked for nuggets that trip. Anyway, it was all of 110 degrees here in the Boise area and even hotter in Nevada. And we left for like a 3-day trip. And on day 3, on the way home, this freak thunderstorm just started building up out of nowhere. And it was one of the most catastrophic flash floods that area has seen in the past decade or so. And we actually timed it perfectly. The road was the freeway. I don't even want to call it a road. The freeway got washed out from under us. The temperature dropped incredibly, and there was just no escaping it. I had the top and the doors off of the Jeep, which meant not only could we not avoid being sprayed by it, but it's just like every passing car was just splashing it into our laps, you know? And we stopped at Walmart there. One of the things that I didn't show in that video was we stopped at Walmart in Winnemucca. And if you're not familiar with Winnemucca, I would encourage you not to become familiar with Winnemucca. Because it's one of those places. But we stopped at the Walmart there, and Walmart in July in Winnemucca, Nevada, had one long-sleeved article of clothing, period. End of story. And it wasn't like a small Walmart. This was like one of the big superstore Walmarts, you know?
Right.
So our initial plan was, oh yeah, we'll go to Walmart, we'll get dry clothes, long sleeves, hoods, beanies, and we'll drive home.
Yeah, no problem. We'll be good to go.
They didn't have any of that. And it was miserable cold. I tried to get my shift covered. I had work the next day. Tried to get my shift covered, and no one could do it. And that forced us to drive basically through the rest of the storm, through the rest of the night. We got into Boise at around 2:30 a.m. that morning with icicles hanging off of every part of us. And I will never, ever, ever, ever venture more than, like, say, 30 to 50 miles without the top on the Jeep ever again.
And we're going up that direction next weekend.
Yes, we're going up next weekend. Same spot. Tops on.
Right. Yeah, no pelting from hail this time.
Yeah, poor Eric, man. He really got the brunt of it. The wind was blowing about 50 miles sustained out of his direction there, and I didn't show it on video out of respect for Eric, but he lifted up his shirt at one point and showed me the right side of his body, and it literally looked like he got assaulted by a bunch of people at a paintball outing or something.
Just covered in welts.
Just welts everywhere on the poor guy. I mean, when you heard him scream, I was laughing. If you listen to the video, I was laughing.
Oh yeah.
After I saw that, I was like, man, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
But I'm gonna put this to video anyways.
But I'm gonna put this on YouTube either way.
That's the way it goes sometimes. Well, you guys have definitely made some great finds and had some great stories. But speaking of stories, maybe before we roll out, you may like to mention a little project that you're working on.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it up. So old Dr. Tones here got approached by a publishing company about January this year. And they said, hey, we're really looking for someone to write a book about metal detecting in general. And we thought that you might be a good candidate. And I told them, I said, I think you should do a little more digging. No pun intended. And get back to me on that. And they said, no, we like your YouTube stuff. We think you've got a great personality, and we hope that it translates via text. And I said, well, I hope so too. I'll take you up on the offer. So I, this past year, have been writing a book, and it's in the final stages now. We're just doing some editing and kind of going through some artwork and some pictures and doing the last final touches on it. And we're really pushing to have it out by Christmas. It's going to be published through Ulysses Press, and it'll be available as hardback, softback, and digital copy online. Be through Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Hastings, all the major book and magazine stores, and we're pushing for Cabela's and Sportsman's Warehouse and Dick's Sporting Goods and other things that might be relatable to the topic. So hopefully by January of 2016.
Tentatively?
Tentatively, yes. We'll have it, and it's going to be called the Metal Detecting Bible.
Very cool.
So keep it in your nightstand and refer to it frequently.
Absolutely. And I definitely do look forward to seeing a copy of that. We'll certainly have to see what I can do about getting one of those in my hands when they do become available, and we'd love to cover that on the show when that does come out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we can speak about the experiences of the project itself, or maybe even some of the frustrations, because I'm sure some of those have been along too.
Mostly frustrations. I consider myself to be a pretty decent talker, but when I try to put my thoughts on paper, they're very unorganized, and they take a serious professional with lots of degrees in English and grammatical corrections to fix what my mind wants to say.
So you're going, it sounds good in my mind, but when I get it on paper, great. Something happens.
Doesn't translate the same. Like, I don't know. You have to, the hardest part really is trying to, you want to tell everything all at the same time, but you have to put it into a timeline that's understandable.
Right.
And, it's, I try to just picture it as I'm having a conversation with someone, but it's harder than I would have thought. So
right.
Maybe they chose the wrong person. But
I'm sure it'll be good.
It was another thing off the bucket list. I've always said that, before I die, I want to be a published author. Well, now's my chance, and God help us.
Well, and really, it does come from an interesting perspective, because you are a prospector and a detectorist, but you view yourself more as an adventurer.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a great point to highlight. You know, I'm not going to claim to know it all. I don't know it all. In fact, as far as electronic prospecting goes, I'm still in my infancy. I turn to, you know, the guys that have been detecting for gold. I turn to them frequently and often, like all the time, getting tips from them, where to look, how to look for it, what machine, what settings. So definitely the book, as far as prospecting goes, is going to be kind of minimal and a little bit vague. It will cover generalizations for prospecting with some high notes regarding electronic prospecting, things that I've learned along the way. You know, you look at guys like Dirt Digler, Eric Magnuson,
right?
Freaking phenomenal electronic prospector, and he's going to hopefully go on to write a dedicated book on that alone.
Very nice.
My buddy Spencer, who's helped us out quite a bit along the way. You got Uncle Ron Smith from, I believe his website is, hang on, I'm brain farting. It's Rye Patch Ron. If you just Google Rye Patch Ron, great resource. Nevada Chris, aka Chris Porter. Jerry McMullen out of Boise, Idaho. All awesome electronic prospectors that I turn to all the time for pointers, tips, places, everything else. And that's what it's all about. You got to use your resources, no matter if it's gold or coins or relics. Use your resources. You know, go where it's been found before. Talk to people who have been there and done that, and try to learn as much as you can from them. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Very good point. Very good point. Anything else you'd like to mention before we roll out? Where to find you? Maybe some advice for newcomers? Favorite website? Facebook page?
PickHead, go ahead.
Well, just the Facebook page. That's the place that you can get some answers to your questions. And Brandon and Eric and I are constantly monitoring that page. We had a great time on our adventure in England at metaldetectingtours.com. That's where you can find information about that, and they put our videos up there on their page too, to kind of highlight some of the things that we did. But forums, Brandon's heavily into the forums, so you can always find him there poking around.
I see.
And then you can call me, area code to it. No, I'm just kidding.
His address is...
Yeah, what was that again? P.O. Box 267. But definitely, you guys are doing great things in the hobby. Definitely inspirational for many people in the hobby. Quite a following yourselves. And I know I was looking forward to the show, definitely. It's been a blast talking with you guys. Really, you guys are just doing great things, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time to sit down and speak with everyone.
Well, we certainly appreciate being appreciated, and, you know, we just can't be more thankful. You know, this whole thing just kind of snowballed into something, and here we are. And you know, anyone that wants to get out there and detect, we just encourage you guys to get out there and swing the coil.
Please don't speak for me.
No, I'm speaking for you.
Looks like we've got one more caller slipped in here.
Let's do it.
731. I believe this is Rusty Halo again.
It is. Hi again. I have a crazy question, and if you say no, I understand. But I want to have a contest, and I've never had one before on my YouTube page, and I'm getting really close to 300 subscribers, which is crazy.
Nice.
I never thought I'd get more than 12.
Oh, man. No, yeah.
But you wrote a book, and that's one thing I've always wanted to do all my life is write a book. Not about metal detecting, just write a book.
Right.
And I have a question. I put it on the chat, and I was like, ask him if I can have one signed, please. Well, and I thought, maybe, just maybe, I could have one to give away in my contest if when it comes out, if that's okay.
Are you kidding me? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Not only will I do that, but I will include one of TJ's best finds ever to give away with it.
Oh,
hang on, Mike checked it out.
And I hate to do that. I mean, I feel like a bum, but you know what? It would be awesome to have one like fresh off the press, and not only to have that, but to have it from you. I know that you're very skilled and very knowledgeable, and I trust you, and I've watched you for a very long time, well before I ever got out there and was doing metal detecting, a lot. I had a little bounty hunter, and I was watching, 3 or 4 different people, but y'all were one of the first ones, and I think it would be awesome to have that and to have that as a prize. I think that it would be wonderful. That would probably be the grand prize, or at least end with the grand prize. You know what I mean? Because
there you
we
go.
don't have much. I was a nurse. I'm disabled. I have 3 children, and we don't have much. And I hate to ask like that. I hate to do that to y'all. I hate to throw it on you like that. But I didn't know any other way. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to. And I will take it one step further for you. Halo. Why don't we include a book with all of our autographs for your competition?
There you go.
And I will do you one better. I will donate a metal detector along with it. How's that sound?
Oh my gosh, really?
Absolutely.
Are you serious?
Yep, 100%.
Oh my gosh, that would be flipping fantastic.
And it's not TJ's. This one's Eric's.
This one's Eric's.
Okay. All right.
Speak for himself.
Wait a minute.
Dirt
If it's a
Digler
good one, do I get to keep it?
Yeah.
Hey, I got 3 kids that fight over a metal detector. Oh, no. Hey, and by the way, if y'all ever want to come down to Tennessee, that's where I'm at, West Tennessee. I just got a great big, huge 132-acre permission with like Civil War, guerrilla warfare stuff going on. And
we could hunt that
dog
for
life. More than down here anytime. I don't have anybody to go with some of my kids, and they bugger out on me a little too fast for my taste.
We will definitely keep that in mind, and as long as funds allow us, I would like to point out that is one thing that we are short on. We all? We love to dig, and we love to go places and dig. A lot of people, for some reason or another, just think that we can just pick up and go anywhere or anytime. And man, that I wish to God that was the case. But I think I speak for all of us when I say we just can't. But with Mind Lab's backing, Mind Lab has been absolutely phenomenal for us. Can't thank them enough.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure that they would love to hop on board a competition like yours and would graciously help us out in donating something, even if I have to buy it personally.
I seen an AC Pro, and I was very, very blessed. I had to save and save to get that. But from watching you and John, JD's Variety Channel, he's in East Tennessee. He swings a Mind Lab. I always said that if I was going to get another one, that is what I would get. My husband asked me for Christmas, would I rather have an AT Gold or like not a CTX 3030, but
like an E-Track or like a Safari,
because we found one used.
Yeah, I'm sure you know, you wouldn't hear any complaints from myself or the Dirt Fishing America gang. We like Mine Lab.
Well, and we like Garrett too. Honestly,
right?
We love.
Each one of them has their own good points.
Exactly. There's the right tool for the right job.
Yeah. Hey, talk Mine Lab into making me a Mine Lab girl. I can be half and half. I don't care. I like it all. You know, as long as I can swing, beat, dig, J-Mo.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Exactly. Well, thanks for the call, Megan, and I'm sure.
I'll get with y'all on Facebook. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Send me a private message. If you're not a friend of mine already, Brandon Ray Neese is my full legal name. That's the page that I use to talk to people on a personal level. All you guys can hop on there, befriend me, and you can also go to www.facebook.com/Dirt Fishin America. And we're really good about getting back to private messages on there too. So if you want, just hit me up and we'll try and put something together and
yeah.
You know,
I'm Megan Smith. It's a little hard to hear. It's a little fuzzy. I know there's a storm and stuff. So I'm Megan Smith. You might be able to find me a little bit easier.
Yeah, we'll get that set up for you, Megan.
Thank you. God bless y'all so much. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all be safe out there, and I'll keep watching.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
Bye.
And hopefully they're watching Dr. Tones as well as Trooper Bry and Ohio Metal Detecting on YouTube. But we certainly appreciate you all for sitting down and taking the time. For everyone else, if you've enjoyed the show, like, rate the channel, throw us some stars, drop us a line. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or a topic you'd like to hear covered, let me know. I'm not that hard to find. Hang in there with me, guys. We're going to roll out. For everyone else, well, I guess we'll see you all next week, hopefully.